everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Walk. My name's Gareth, and today I'm in Thornton, which is a suburb of Bradford in West Yorkshire. I'm here to walk a section of the former Great Northern Railway's Queensbury lines. I'm going to walk from Thornton all the way up to Queensbury. Loads of remains on the route, including the incredible Thornton viaduct. So usual drill, we'll get Google Maps up. This is where I'm going to start the walk. This is the site of what was Thornton railway station. I'm going to have a look around, see if I can't find some remains of that before heading over the beautiful Thornton viaduct and down the line to Queensbury, where Queensbury Station sat, this amazing sort of triangular station. And then from beyond there, I'm going to reach the northern portal of Queensbury Tunnel. Now it's all shut off, but Queensbury Tunnel was about 2 miles long and they are trying to reopen it. Now, believe it or not, this is the site of Thornton railway station. Nature has taken it back. However, if we walk in this direction, we'll come to Thornton viaduct. It literally came out of the station and bang onto the viaduct. But as the main line curled off onto the viaduct, there was another series of lines that went into this huge goods area with a giant goods shed and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully when we get closer to that, I'm thinking that footprint is probably harder to erase. Now this is the area of all the goods sheds, and I think there's a few clues there actually which we can see. But oh, mate, look at that for a reveal. Thornton viaduct. I'm a little bit further up the line from Hewenden Viaduct, so if you watch that episode where I walked from Cullingworth to Willesden, there's more amazing infrastructure on this line. Now, apologies for the sun, not that we should whinge about the sun, but there you go. That's the entrance into the station, isn't it? You can see, and I would suggest there's platforms there. Can you see that with the green fencing around it? 100% they would be loading platforms. This was a whole goods area. And that looks to me like a stanchion there for a bridge, maybe a footbridge coming across the goods area. You tend to find that, like stations, they can kind of almost disappear them, just because I guess the footprint they stand on, it's not actually that big really. But when it comes to these enormous goods areas with you know, obviously needing vehicle access and all that kind of stuff, that is going to be a lot harder to get rid of. So I would suggest that's exactly what that is there. And I'm going to see if I can't get a better view. Now it is like a school, but luckily it's the weekend, so it's closed. Don't really want to get in trouble. So if you just see through there, I don't know if you can see that well, to be honest, but that is definitely a platform through there. Hopefully I've got some of that on the drone footage that will be a little bit more visible. And of course I'll try and find some old pictures if I can of Thornton Station goods yard, so I can, you know, compare the two. Because for me, that's what brings it to life. You know, you get an old picture and you're like, oh, that's what that was. Makes total sense now. Now you don't have to walk that far, literally just down a little hill. This is all still the goods shed. This whole area is all still goods yard and a big shed and stuff like that. And we are straight on to Thornton Viaduct. So double track, as you can see from how wide it is. A really big viaduct. It looks incredible. And you can hear there's a little bit of wind as well. I'm not gutted because it's beautiful. It's beautiful weather. When you get up onto the viaduct, suddenly you get hit with this burst of wind, which is probably annoying for the audio, but actually for me, it's quite welcome just to cool down a little bit, to be honest. I was just going to look over the top of the viaduct. In the distance over there, you got Bradford, and it's really high, this viaduct, and I just spotted that. Literally just walked straight up to it without realising that's got to be a signal post, isn't it? Got to be. Now I'll try and find some old photos if I can. If I can find a photo that shows that signal post, winning. Now, as you can see from the drone footage, this is a hella high viaduct. And when I was walking down, so I've parked at the other end, so I walked down to, you know, walk back. And I got chatting to these young lads, probably about 11, 12 years old or something. Nice kids, like they were chatting about what I was doing, obviously, because I had my drone in my hand and stuff. Anyway, one of them gets up on that and he's walking along it. And obviously he's not my kid, but I was like, mate, can you not? And he just jumped down and went, sorry mate. And I realised I'm a grown up now. Not that I told him off, but you know what I mean? People listen to me. Apart from in my own house and my own kids, they don't listen to me. So we're just coming to the end of the viaduct now. It's not a mega long one, but it looks great and it's pretty high. But it's not that long. But as you can see, that's double track, because this line was double track. It was a main line. I've realised I've not told you anything about the railway. I was just, you know, saw the viaduct and I was distracted. This was opened by the Great Northern Railway in 1884, and it was part of the Queensbury lines, which basically connected Bradford and Halifax with Keighley. Now, passenger services closed in 1955. It didn't do that much with passenger services, and Thornton Station that we've just looked at there, or the sort of remains of, that went in 1955 too. Oh, there we go. A bridge. I apologise for the sun. It is brutal. But another beautiful bit of infrastructure from this line. Let me just come inside so I don't blind you. Now that's all flooded, that side, which will become relevant as we get to Queensbury Tunnel. The amount of flooding on this railway line. Mate, such beautiful stonework. Become a bit of a geek for bridges and stuff, like in my old age. I was never really into architecture before. Like, I like trains are just cool. But I was never really into architecture as itself as a kid. Now, when I look at what the Victorians did, I'm like, mate, I want one. So there's your track bed down there. It looks like a canal. Now what they've done is they've sort of infilled it, which might be why that's flooding. Maybe the water can't get underneath the bridge. And there you go, look, you can see they've just sort of severed through it to create the pathway. They've taken the wall down that side for some reason. So let's have a look. Yeah, this is all infilled, isn't it? Oh geez. Yeah, that's a sting fest. Okay, I'm walking backwards now to try and... Oh no, it's getting even worse with the sun. Now shortly, we'll get to Queensbury Station. And it was this sort of triangular station, which was quite quirky, quite different. Like Ambergate. If you ever seen Ambergate Station, how that used to look in Derbyshire. Exactly like that. And the reason was, this line, as I said, was built to connect Halifax, Bradford and Keighley. Now what the Great Northern Railway didn't realise, at least I don't think they realised when they built the line, they assumed they were connecting three areas of population basically. But what they built was essentially a missing jigsaw piece in this enormous jigsaw piece railway set, where you had all these other railway lines all in the area. I mean, if you look at Rail Map online, you see the amount of railways in Yorkshire, it's just mad. And so, inadvertently, what they did when they built the line here, is it basically filled in the gap. So then suddenly, it was hella busy. And they basically forgot about passenger services. As I said earlier, by 1955 it was gone, it wasn't really worth it. It was all about moving goods. It was all about the textile industry. So moving coal from the Yorkshire coalfield, the Derbyshire coalfield, Nottinghamshire coalfield, through into Yorkshire to power the mills, and then on up into Lancashire to power the mills there as well. It was a really important railway strategically. But unfortunately, in the end, Dr. Beeching's cuts in 1963, basically, that was good night Vienna. What was in there just made me seriously jump. Hello mate. Nice peacock. I'm hoping that one's just asleep. So what I'm looking for now is some evidence, because this doesn't look like a railway line, does it? It just looks like a road, to be honest. Some evidence of where the lines split to create this triangle. So I've literally just said it looks like a road, which it does, to be fair. And that was a bit of a whinge on my part for the lack of remains in this section, which is being greedy given the viaduct we've just had. But my moaning appears to have paid off. It's because we've got ourselves a bridge. Now, just farm access, I guess that would have been. Now the line is starting to curl round now, which tells me something might be about to happen in terms of the station. I'm also thinking, if it's a triangular station, you've essentially therefore got three junctions. Now, that could mean three signal boxes. So I like those odds in terms of trying to find some remains. Because although this line went in 1963, it was basically turned into a walkway relatively early on. I think they got rid of the track and stuff pretty early on. and they turned it into a walkway. They did loads and loads of work on the viaducts, and then the whole thing was opened in 2005 as the Great Northern Railway Trail, which is great. You can walk a good few miles of it. Now at the end of this, where we're going to finish the walk, the northern portal of Queensbury Tunnel, it floods. Now I'm talking like it floods like 14 feet deep, like not just a little bit of a, you know, a pair of waders job, but like scuba gear job. Now they want to open that up, and if they do manage to get it open as a walkway and a cycleway, being over 2 miles long, it will be the longest in Europe, the longest walkway tunnel or ex-railway tunnel that you can go in the entirety of Europe, and that would be great. Now, suddenly the wind has gone a bit mad. Now this is dropped off. This was a bridge, so the track would be right up there and it would go across this road. Now I'm hoping the trail continues, because if it does. I had a panic then because I've just assumed I'm getting to the northern portal of this tunnel. I thought, you know, I was about to get scuppered, but thankfully not. So bridge is up there going over the top, so this has all been, you know, excavated away. So I'll walk up the hill there, get myself back on the track bed, ruin the video. Apologise for the wind. Now it's hard to tell. I mean, this is the path we've got to take. It looks like, you know, farmer's land, but it's coming over here. But it was double track, so maybe the actual track bed itself is, you know, in the middle. I do love the Great Northern Railway. I've got a bit of a thing for it because of the Friargate line in Derby, but also because in like Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire, the Midland Railway like basically just owned the gig. They were the only show in town, so they could name the price, and they stitched the coal miners up and stuff in terms of fees for haulage and whatever. So the Great Northern Railway then came in and sort of scuppered that monopoly, so I quite like them for that. Here we go. So double track, that and this. And here we go, look, we've got another bridge. I wanted to get down there so I could get a view up at it, but computer's saying no at the minute. That's quite annoying. Yeah, lots of weird noises going on around here. But yeah, there's no way of getting down. Oh, hang on. So check out that. That is part of the Clayton Brickworks. Now, on the top of that, it says 1911 FA Cup winners. Now that was because Bradford City, bear in mind we're basically on the outskirts of Bradford. Bradford City won the FA Cup in 1911, and so when they built that tower in the same year for the brickworks, they stuck on, you know, a commemorative bit of ornamentation. Is that the right word? Okay, I found a way down, and I think the way I'm going down might be the way up into Queensbury Station actually, so a bit of a double whammy result on that one. So there's the line there. That's what I was walking just a second ago. I didn't think I could get down. I was a little bit gutted, but I've managed to get down. So there you go. I'm wondering if that was an entrance into the station as well, because it was a triangle. It had essentially three separate stations. So that may well have been access into one, and this is access into another one. Now I'm hoping there'll be a bit of a map or something so I can try and get my bearings. One of those "you are here" jobs. Ask and you shall receive. Okay, so there's the bridge we were just looking at. That is the entrance look up into the station, and I've just come up and just walked back here so I could see this sign. So we've followed it here. Now that goes off into another tunnel off into Bradford. Now what I'm going to do, or we're going to do, because hopefully you're coming with me, is follow this one here and into Queensbury Tunnel. So here then, these are the station buildings, and there is the triangle obviously where it goes off. Now what was I saying about 3 signal boxes? Not seeing any. See, signal posts are marked, but I don't seem to be seeing signal boxes. Signal post. Is that a signal box? Signal box. Oh, so there appears only to be one there. So there's that bridge going across. So there was a little viaduct, look. So we're coming down here. So in theory, this bridge should be visible down here shortly. Hopefully it is. Look at that beautiful station. So we're basically here because there's that Bradford City Tower. So we're here and we're going down there. I hope that made sense. I think it did. It's mad, isn't it? You would not think it. But these are platforms. This is a station. And I always find it amazing because you'd have had people stood on those platforms going off to wherever to do whatever. Do you know what I mean? Going off to war probably. As happened, you know, the troops were sent down south to get on the boats off to Normandy and stuff like that from stations up here in the north and in the Midlands. It's just crazy the people that have gone before. Now, you know what I mean? I'm just walking around like a plonker. There are quite a few signs now, so that's pretty cool. Okay. So if we're here, that crossing, there's literally no signs of that, was there? I looked for it, but there was no signs of it. Now this is where we're looking. Okay, there. Would have been a beautiful station. Oh mate, I wonder what they were then. I was thinking, what was that? But they're like ornamental posts, look. So I wonder if these here are Captain Pickles, Frederick. Oh, okay. So 1876 and 1877, 1875. So all these people have died. 1875, 1875, 75. It doesn't seem to give me a clue, 74. But I'm assuming then this is relevant to the men that lost their lives building this tunnel. Obviously the construction of the incredible railway infrastructure came at a price, a lot. And I'm assuming then that those 10 men were the 10 men killed building Queensbury Tunnel. Now we're getting close to it now because I'm starting to get cold air hitting me. I'm sorry again for the sun glare, it really is. Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, for the men that died building this incredible tunnel. I'll try and get a little bit, look at all the midges. Oh mate, the cold coming out of that, that's crazy. Because even with the gates shut as they are, that is, honestly, that's freezing. Actually feels really nice. Wow, Queensbury Tunnel. But they want to reopen this. I'd love it if they did, but like I said earlier, it's like nearly 2 miles long. It might even be over 2 miles long, which is, I mean, that's a long time to be underground, isn't it? Let's see if I can get you a bit of a view inside. It might have a bit of a weird focus thing. Oh God. Oh no, that's just tarpaulin. It's like a ghost. Because that is one long, long tunnel. Not sure why there's tarpaulin hanging up, but there you go. You see the water coming down. I said it floods so much, it's insane. But an incredible structure. And hopefully they do reopen it. You know, I think they've been trying for a long time, umming and ahhing and what have you, but hopefully they do. So that's the end of the road. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. It is so hot, but I've really enjoyed being out. I'm actually quite enjoying the cold coming out of the tunnel. I might stand here a bit longer. I don't expect you to though. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.